What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Crypto Over Redbull. And today we're going to be going over the latest crypto news. But before we get started, if you go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give a 5-star rating, it is much appreciated. So go ahead, pop open that Red Bull, and let's go. Now, before we dive into the update, I want to give a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, Infineon, the infinitely smarter blockchain, flipping the pre-sale model on its head, delivering all major products before native token launch, which is scheduled to take place April 22nd. If you're interested in hearing more about Infineon, our previous episode covered all the highlights, so hop on over and check it out. In the past 24 hours, the crypto market has seen notable movements across major coins. Bitcoin surged to 87,676 before settling around 86,900, while Ethereum hovered near 1,621 after dipping as low as 1,573. BNB climbed to 600, and Solana stayed steady at $137. XRP edged up to $2.11. Cardano made gains near 64 cents, and Dogecoin continues its momentum, reaching over 16 cents. It's been a dynamic day across the board, but with signs of both consolidation and potential breakouts. Let's kick off the news with Bitcoin. After pulling back to around 74K earlier this month, BTC made a violent comeback, surging past 87,000 this week. That 16% pump isn't just random. It's fueled by renewed institutional demand, rumors of a leadership shakeup at the Federal Reserve, and anticipation that rate cuts might happen sooner than expected. Plus, Bitcoin's ETFs keep hoarding supply like it's a bear market Black Friday. The key takeaway though, institutions are treating BTC like a serious hedge against macro uncertainty, not just as a speculative trade. Now, if you thought Michael Saylor was done buying Bitcoin, think again. MicroStrategy just acquired 6,556 BTC, dropping $555.8 million at an average price of $84,785 per Bitcoin. This brings their total holdings to 538,200 BTC, worth over $36.47 billion with an average entry price of $67,766. That's more than some countries' GDP. And here's what's wild. Saylor isn't just stacking for the flex. He's betting on BTC becoming the core treasury asset of the digital age, a hedge against fiat debasement, and a long-term productivity store. This isn't dollar cost averaging, this is a full-blown conviction mission. On the Ethereum front, Vitalik just proposed a major change, replacing the EVM with RISC-V, a streamlined processor architecture used in modern computing. Why this matters: RISC-V could make Ethereum faster, cheaper, and more scalable. It would simplify the execution environment, reduce gas costs, and open the door for more optimized layers 2s. This isn't happening overnight though, but it's a signal that Ethereum isn't content with being status quo. The devs are thinking long term, making Ethereum more modular and future-proof. Let's talk about one of the week's biggest curveballs, the Trump memecoin unlock. On April 17th, the first batch of tokens worth $320 million started unlocking. These coins are tied to wallets connected to the Trump organization, and although the unlock is set to happen gradually over 2 years, the market's already nervous. Analysts are calling for potential drops to $6 or $7, with some predicting a possible floor of $3 if holders start dumping aggressively. This is a classic case of supply shock meets retail panic, and it's something to watch closely over the coming weeks. The stablecoin sector is heating up, and not just in the DeFi world. We're talking cross-border payments, treasury services, and even payroll infrastructures being built on top of stablecoin rails. Legislators in the US are actively drafting new bills, and if we get even moderately favorable regulation, analysts believe that stablecoin markets could hit multi-trillion-dollar valuations by 2028. Think about it. Stablecoins could become the new financial plumbing for the global economy. And if the US plays it smart, this could be its chance to lead crypto infrastructures without having to launch a government-backed digital dollar. Moving on, here's a wild stat. Crypto casinos generated a staggering $81.4 billion in gross gaming revenue in 2024 alone. That's a 5x increase from 2022. These platforms are booming despite heavy legal scrutiny by operating offshores, accepting bets in crypto, and giving users access to VPNs. They're also using favorable, fair algorithms to build users' trust and sidestep traditional license hurdles. Whether you see them as a wild, wild west or the future of online gambling, one thing's clear. They've carved out a massive niche and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Now let's head to Japan, where Metaplanet, a publicly traded firm, just added 330 BTC, worth 28.2 million to its reserves. Their long-term goal? To accumulate 21,000 BTC by 2026. That would put them in the same tier as MicroStrategy and possibly make them one of Asia's largest sovereignty-aligned holders. This shows a rising trend of non-US institutions stacking sats, especially in countries with economic instability or weakening national currencies. Bitcoin is becoming a corporate survival asset, not just a bet. Platforms like Polymarket are pushing prediction markets back into the spotlight. You can bet on everything from political outcomes to sports events, but regulators aren't thrilled. The CFTC is hosting a roundtable to discuss the future of these markets. Why? Because the line between trading and gambling is getting blurrier by the day. If these platforms survive the regulatory gauntlet, they could become huge liquidity hubs for forecasting, speculating, and even helping against real-world events. And lastly, some positive vibes. Digital asset firm Unchained launched a philanthropic effort to build Bitcoin education hubs, support the Bitcoin Policy Institute, and even seed a university endowment at the University of Austin focused on BTC development. This is the kind of long game thinking we need more of. Investing not just in price, but in principles, knowledge, and culture. And that's a wrap for this week's Crypto Over Redbull. From MicroStrategy's mega moves to crypto casinos printing billions, one thing's crystal clear. Crypto isn't slowing down, it's leveling up. If you want to keep the conversation going, hit me up on Twitter at DeFiSean or email me at cryptooverredbull@gmail.com. And until next time, stay caffeinated and trade safe.